and you were completely stuck. You had no idea what to do. Panic sets in and your thinking just freezes. I'm sure all of us have experienced this in our personal lives or maybe even at work. The attempt of this particular speaker was to be able to streamline the thinking process. Now, all of us right now in this call are in different emotional mindsets. For a fact, I know that Kripa is upset that she didn't get her coffee. She's waiting for her coffee. I'm thinking about the division council meeting. Probably Sundaraman sir has another meeting later and he's thinking about it. Karthik is sipping his coffee. So all of us at this moment are in different mindsets. So now if I throw a point to discuss or an idea to innovate on, because our thinking is not in sync, a 30-minute discussion turns into a 3-hour discussion. At the end of 3 hours, we found it's not been productive. So that is where this particular book, 6 Thinking Hacks by Edward de Bono, comes into play. Believe me, before I attended his workshop, I was definitely someone who said, it's not possible. He's just too much talking for the sake of talking. How can I pick up a hat, put it on my head, and based on that, my thinking can change? But after attending the workshop and also reading this book, I've come to realize how easy it is to train our mind in a particular fashion. De Bono says all of us are capable of different levels of thinking. However, as a team, we are productive only if all of us channelize our thinking in the same direction. And for that sake, it is very important to actually put on a particular hat. We always use this term, let's put on a thinking hat, right? But thinking is not the only way that all of us work. We also have other things to take care of. So De Bono talks about 6 thinking hats. And for each hat, he associates it with a particular color. Let me start in the reverse and go with the blue hat. Now, the blue hat is a hat that is worn by the person who we normally call as a moderator, but Edward de Bono calls him as the thinking controller. So, depending on the situation, he will go ahead and ask all of you to put on your hats. And once he says a particular color, you can think only on those terms. For example, the white hat is all about facts and figures. So if I tell you, go on and wear your white hat for the next 5 minutes of discussion about that product or about that problem, whatever you're discussing, you will only talk about facts and figures. You will not talk about anything else. And after we are able to get all the facts and figures that we think is necessary for the discussion, we will move on, or the person wearing the blue hat, the one who controls thinking, will recommend that you put on another hat, which is the red hat. During red hat, you will share all your emotions and feelings. Could be fear, could be overjoy, whatever emotion or feeling that you are going through at that point of time. All of us will share these emotions and feelings. Then he could ask you to put on the black hat. Now the black hat is all about being cautious and careful. So when you're trying something new, there will be a few pitfalls. The black hat talks about these pitfalls and also prepares us for an eventual catastrophe that we might have to go through. Then comes the yellow hat, and the yellow hat is all about positivity. For example, the round robin hat, I was trying to work it around by using the yellow hat, where we spoke only about the positive. And the last, which is the green hat, is all about creative thinking. So when I say let's wear the green hat, we all will come up with creative ideas without any judgment whatsoever. Now, De Bono says the act of asking you all to put in a particular hat. So what happens when you're discussing a problem? I'm taking a crisis, for example. I will only be talking about my feelings and my emotions because for me it's a huge crisis. The solutions to the crisis will not come because I will be hijacking the conversation. So even from that perspective, he says, let's not give into multiple emotions. I'm talking about fear and emotions. Satish talks about facts and figures. JC is talking about creativity. So when there's a complete different thought process for all of us, the thoughts get lost in the discussion. So that is why De Bono says, let's streamline our thought process. And the person who will decide what hat to wear is the person wearing the blue hat. But the beauty of this particular book is it tells you what hats to wear in what sequence. Now, I just gave blue, white, red, yellow just in terms of explanation. But when I'm talking about innovation, I need only new ideas. Then I'll ask the person to wear the yellow hat and the green hat. And maybe at a later on stage, I'll bring in the black hat. I need not choose all hats except for the blue hat. All other hats are mandatory. Now, this is a great tool. Only you have to just pick up this book and read. You have a lot of exercises in this book to check your understanding and be able to implement this at work. Believe me, once you start using the six thinking hats, all those meetings where you spend hours being unproductive will not happen because you have a particular format, a process in place which will help you reach your goal. So this is Edward de Bono's thinking hats. In total, he has approximately 171 pages. But once you pick up this book, you cannot put it down because it talks a lot about human psychology and the way we think in layman terms. I request all of you to take a copy of this book. You have the e-copy available. Go through this book, and the minute you finish reading this book, implement it somewhere, you will see what an amazing book this is. Once Corona lockdown has been lifted, if you want, you can borrow this book from me. Thank you so much, and back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Gopinath.
Thank you. Thank you, Arti.